The reality is they weren't taken advantage of. They just didn't run their business correctly, and they didn't treat it like a business, and they didn't enforce the rules. Hey everyone, so what I want to talk to you today is about the one thing that almost everybody is scared and petrified of: eviction, eviction, eviction. An eviction is something that scares everybody when it comes to owning a rental property. What if they don't pay? What am I going to do? They're going to trash my house. Whenever you think of having to evict someone, you're always thinking, what is the worst case scenario that could happen? And when you're running a business, you've got to understand that this is part of the business model you're in. Evicting a tenant does not have to be this emotional thing. If you treat it like business and you treat everyone respectable, they will understand and they get it. Nobody wants to be evicted, but the more professional you are, that will resonate back with people. The biggest mistakes I see people do is, number one, they don't even have any policies, procedures, so they don't follow any. And then the tenant says, hey, I'll pay you on Friday. They do a favor for them. They let them slide. So what happens is they go, well, he seems okay or she seems okay with me not paying. I'm gonna go pay this electric bill or my gas bill. And then next thing you know, they're pissed because they feel they were taken advantage of. The reality is they weren't taken advantage of. They just didn't run their business correctly, and they didn't treat it like a business, and they didn't enforce the rules. I don't think tenants don't pay because they don't want to. I think tenants don't pay because if they have $1,500 in bills and they have $1,000, they're gonna push off whoever they think they can push off. Now, if you have a gas station and somebody comes to get gas, you're not gonna let them pump the gas and say, I'll pay you on Friday. They've got to pay at the pump. Having your rental property and making them realize that they have to pay at the pump and they've got to pay if they want to stay there, they got to pay for it. That's the same thing. And you have to make sure that you are running it that way. Do not get emotional. It is a business and you've got to run it like a business. Another thing you want to be careful of is there are discrimination and fair housing laws that you really got to be careful about, because if all of a sudden you are letting one tenant slide on late fees and you don't let another tenant slide, now you could be into some legal issues. So you have to treat everyone the same per fair housing and discrimination laws. So you want to make sure the easiest way is you have policies, you have procedures, and you stick to them and you don't deviate. Evictions are not a big deal. It's just part of the business. If you treat it professionally and you don't get emotional, they won't either. They understand that if they don't pay, eventually they're going to have to leave. It's up to you to make sure that you maintain that professionalism, because you are running a business and dealing with an eviction is not a big deal as long as you treat it like it's part of the business, it's part of the policies, you account for it, you have money set aside for it, and it's just something that's going to happen. And this is the sandbox that we all play in when we own real estate.